If you are curious and you want to know why you shouldn't wear a turquoise when you're going shopping, you're in the right place. That's what we're going to cover today. So my name, Marie DiTolio. I'm the founder of Crystal Energy, where we teach people how to use crystals and stones to maybe relieve some pain, to just help them feel better in their body, or to even change things on an emotional level, on a physical level, on a spiritual level, and even on a mental level. So stones are working all around us, and I really want you to understand how to use different stones can definitely affect the way you're moving and feeling in your life. So today we are talking about the turquoise, and let me show you a few turquoise stones, because there's so many types of turquoise, but that's a type of a necklace that you can find that's a turquoise. You can have it as a bracelet like this. That's very common. That's a turquoise from South Africa, so it looks a bit different. It's more greenish. There are, this turquoise is well known. It is from the Blue Boy mine in Arizona. Someone who has a Blue Boy is just known as like, oh, you have a Blue Boy? That's quality, like that's something. So that's a stone that they have over there. Here, that's a stabilized turquoise, which means that it was turquoise that has been powdered and then put back together, and now has been polished, so it looks like this. And there are stones that, like this one, that's an aulite that's dyed, so it really looks like a turquoise, but it is not. So it looks very similar. And the reason I show you all of these is that you know that turquoise they're not just one type of color, one type of stone that's a turquoise. And let me take out a few more of them that's totally different. And I really want you to see the difference between them. So there's one like this. This is a turquoise, and you're seeing there's kind of a speck of gold in it, and that's a real turquoise. And it's like it's pyrite probably that's in it, but that's a real turquoise. While on the other end you have this one that's from Iran, which is much bluer. Iran is known for this bluish color that's just absolutely amazing. And there's this one that's a turquoise that's, as you're seeing, totally greenish compared to the other one. If I put them side by side, not the same, but they're both turquoise. So spotting a fake turquoise is really hard to do. If you see one, usually they're going to have patterns in them, but they're going to be all the same. So if they were made in lab, they're going to be all in the same pattern. That's how you'll recognize them. See, that's another turquoise. It looks different from everything else that we've seen. And I have this one that instead of a dark line, it has white lines. It's still a turquoise, and it works amazing. And this is more of an aqua color than the others. So all of these turquoise are just absolutely amazing. Let me show you. So that's a big, huge necklace. That's a greenish color, but that's still a turquoise, and you can work with that. So turquoise, the hardness of a turquoise is 6. So it's not the hardest, but it's not so bad. But turquoise will, dilute underwater, just like salt would. So you want to make sure you don't put it underwater ever. If you need to cleanse your turquoise, well, all I do is I usually take a damp cloth, and I'll just wipe it like this, and take a dry cloth right afterwards to dry it up, and then I'll do the purifying and the cleansing and the recharging, usually with the full moon, or it could be done with amethyst and quartz, but we talked about that in a past live. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go back to the archives and look at that. So I'm saying that turquoise is fragile, cannot be put underwater. So if you do not wear your turquoise in the shower. If you have a ring that has a turquoise on it, often turquoise looks really good with a diamond. So often when you see turquoise with diamond, you're going to see there's kind of epoxy on top of the turquoise, so that it kind of gives it a protection. But for sure, the reason they do this is that turquoise is porous. So it would kind of absorb the oil of the skin and the color would change. So by putting the epoxy on top, it kind of protects the stone, makes it stay beautiful also. So it's a good reason to do it, and it's fine like that. But if you're going to wear a stone like this, especially on the skin, to me, you always wear it here, like turquoise, that's the place. Never in a hole, but just slightly lower. That's really the place for the turquoise. But often you might see that your turquoise will change color. It works so much. I mean, you're going to feel a difference working with the turquoise, or there's going to be a difference in the way you act, or in the way you think, or in things are going to move differently. They're going to take a different road without even you noticing, but then you're going to wake up somewhere new. Your life will definitely change with turquoise. So don't worry if it changes color. It's still going to work for you. It's because it's been working, so that's the good part. You never want to put the turquoise in the sun either. Stones they're found underground, so most of the stones don't like the sun, and that's important for you to know. Okay, so what do we use the turquoise for? There's so many reasons, but first, the first things that come to mind for me, it's about communication. If you're a teacher, if you're a singer, you do want turquoise. It's also about creativity, finding who you are, expressing who you are. It's about protection. It's about boosting your immune system. It's about stimulating the thymus. It's reducing stress. If you travel a lot, if you travel and you go by plane and they have a different time zone over there, and you usually it's hard for you to accustom to both to the new time zone, turquoise is a really good stone to carry with you. But if you're traveling on a red-eye flight at night, do not wear the turquoise. But if it's during the day, turquoise is a really good stone, so you get there and you really get the gist of staying in the right time zone and everything works fine. Turquoise is also good if you, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're on a boat, if you're feeling seasick on a boat, or if you're feeling sick on a plane, you nausea and stuff, turquoise is a really good stone to have on you. Turquoise is kind of a bridge between the material world and the more of the spiritual side. It's kind of a bridge between the earth and the sky. So if you're stuck on a boat or stuck on the airplane and it doesn't really suit you usually, go for a turquoise. That's a good choice. Sometimes I like to teach people about the elements of the stones, and turquoise is a kind of a mix with the water element and the air element. So it's really a stone that will just pass right through, like water going through, like anything. It's just going to find its way. That's kind of what turquoise helps you do. It helps you find your way through anything. But there's another aspect to it, which is, as I said, the air element. What air does is it rises, right? So turquoise is not a stone that really will irradiate very large. So if you have a choice between one big stone like this or many small like this, I prefer many stones like this. You can put more and then you can spread them out and it's going to work better. So to me, I really like more of turquoise is fairly expensive. So you might as well invest in many small ones. And I'm even saying mini ones because they're usually working around the throat. You don't need big ones there. So small ones are amazing. They're the best choice for you. And if you're wondering where turquoise comes from. Turquoise comes from, initially it was copper. Copper is the first thing. Copper then became azurite, then became azuromalachite, then became malachite, then became chrysocolla, and then became turquoise. So it's like copper is at the beginning of the chain, and at the end of the chain you find the turquoise. That's how it works. So because of its water element, it's really good to balance the water in the ears. So if you're suffering from vertigo, anything that has to do with water in the ears, that's a good choice. That could be a good choice stone. If there's so many things to tell you about this turquoise. Turquoise is also really good for expanding your brain. What I mean by that is that if you're thinking about how to expand in the future, where you want to be in the future, how to do something, turquoise is really a good stone for that because it's very creative. It's all about self-expression. It's about, okay, I can try that. It's about, it's when you combine it with, hold on, let me find, with black tourmaline. So when you combine the turquoise with the black tourmaline is really majorly for grounding with you, with the black, with the turquoise. But when you combine the two, turquoise is really about bringing that knowledge that's inside of you that you don't know that you have, bringing it up to the surface so you could use it. So what does it do? Well, it brings, maybe it brings to the singer a voice, to the teacher something new to teach, to artists their new ideas. So it's really, it's a stone of freedom. It's a choice. It's a stone of free will. And so if you're here and you're watching, let me know. Do you have a turquoise at home? What else? So we're saying it's about freedom. We're saying it's about free will. It's about self-expression. It's about not being afraid to express yourself. And I'll give you the best example. Someone who's really, really shy might get the nerve to ask that person on a date if they have contact with a turquoise. It will just give you that boldness, that courage to move forward with what you're looking for. And often men, after wearing turquoise, are going to be they're going to be nicer to their wives. They're going to be more attentive to their wives. The opposite is also true. A woman exposed to turquoise, when in contact with their men, they're going to be more attentive to their needs. It's really bringing out the caring part that we have. So turquoise is, because it allows you to express yourself, it's really good for anyone who's been in the wrong place but they didn't know it. And the best example I'll give you of that was me. I was a police officer and I thought my life was perfect, when in fact I was not happy, and it was like my job wasn't rewarding for me at the time, and I was in the wrong place. I didn't know it. Turquoise kind of brought it up to the surface, but it also brought up all my talents and skills that I didn't know I had, so I could change or take a new direction. So turquoise is about helping us move forward, having the courage to go in the direction we want to go. And for people that have that are feeling good one day, feeling down the other day, and then good and down, it kind of evens things out. If you're it's calming. If you're victim type, it will kind of it's giving you back your power. So it's putting you in charge of your future, so you won't feel that much of a victim like I probably was when I was a police officer, thinking I was stuck there. And now, no, I took responsibility for my life. That's the difference. That's what a turquoise can really do for you. Turquoise is really good to use for the lungs. It's really good for the third eye. It's really good for the throat. So my favorite spot to put it on the body is definitely for the throat, and it's always here. You always want it here, never in the hole there. That's like, you don't want anything there that feels like strangling. So you want it just under. And that's, anyways, the stone will irradiate enough to just go in the chakra. And don't be scared, yes, if the stone changes color. It's all right. It means it's done its work. And what else do I want to tell you? Because there's so much about turquoise. I like turquoise because it also brings about a protection. It was known in ancient times to be very protective. At the same time as it's allowing you to express yourself, it's giving you protection, so it feels like you can express yourself and it is safe. And that's always important for someone who loves turquoise. And we said it expands the brain, and it also actually kind of equilibrates both sides of the brains, which is a good thing. It kind of like helps them. Turquoise is really good for bridging, so it kind of bridges the two together the same way it bridges the physical world with the spiritual world, the way it bridges the truth, which is the bridge between the mind and the body. And if there's some people that you know, or if it's you, could be you, sometimes there's some people, and you might notice it by listening to something like this, and someone says something, and you say, oh my God, I didn't know that was me. But if you're that type of person where things like nothing good comes out of your mind, nothing constructive comes out of your mouth, just like it's simply because you talk, you don't take time to think before you talk, you just talk too fast, and then it's not good what comes out. Then you need a turquoise. Turquoise will give you time to pause, analyze, and just answer the right thing so you don't get in trouble and you're honest and authentic rather than just being that negative person. If you're using a turquoise like the greenish one, like this one that has zinc in it, I really recommend, if you find it, to use it for people that have asthma. You can really use them for lung issues, for coughing. That's really, really good. Because, you know, we saw turquoise has some different lines. Let me show it to you. It has some different lines. So it could really come back to looking the way your lungs would look, kind of. So that would be a reason why it would be good to use there. Last thing I wanted to say about the blue boy. The blue boy. This is a stone, like a turquoise. This one is from Arizona. Is really, really good if for people that don't want to show their emotions, for people for whom it is hard to speak up. When I was a police officer in my job, I was really good at speaking, but as soon as it came to me expressing who I am and what I want to do, I would shut down. That was a really good stone for me. And so anyone who wants to speak but is afraid, or which means they suppress their emotions and like there's so much emotions they're compressed, turquoise is a good choice. What else do I want to show? So anytime you don't want to show your emotions, I guess that's not the stone to wear. So sometimes if you're not feeling so confident going somewhere, I don't really necessarily recommend the turquoise, but I would take more of a confidence, a ruby color type, a ruby or garnet that will bring about your confidence. You could wear then the turquoise with it, but at least you have that stone of confidence to go with it. To me, turquoise is really, and aqua stones in general are often stones of truth. So I always say that the salesman doesn't really, like if you're an old car salesman, well, chances are you don't want to wear a turquoise. Because when someone is about to buy a car, you might say, oh, you don't want to buy it because the tires are this, and then the exhaust is this, and then this problem, and you're going to find all the problems because you're going to be too honest. So sometimes you don't want to be that vulnerable if it's your career. And so, well, I guess if you're the right person, you want to be fully honest, but there's some people that are not like that. So these people know turquoise for them. And so turquoise is a stone that does a lot of stuff. But let's answer the question that we asked in the beginning. Why you don't want to wear turquoise when you're going shopping? Well, the turquoise is really a stone of possibility. It's a stone of creativity. It's a stone of going wild and being like brave and even being bold and having it's a stone of being unstoppable. So if you're going shopping, you're just going to forget your wallet, and forget your wallet in a way that you're going to be spending and spending and spending because you're going to be bold and brave and believe in everything possible. That's not the best mindset when you're buying. When you're buying, you want to be in that responsible mindset. You want to make sure that you have the funds, that you're not putting yourself at risk here by being too bold. You want to make the right decisions. Actually, if you know a bit about finance, you know that you should be, for any expense that's over $100, if you're smart enough, you would wait one day to make sure it's a good decision. So turquoise is really in that It's going to give you the boldness to act, but sometimes having the boldness to act is not the responsible thing to do. So you kind of need to know that when you're going shopping, mostly. And if you're like me, for sure, if you're going to buy stones and the first stone you buy is a turquoise, you're going to be carrying it all day. You have to keep that in mind. So on that note, I hope you liked today's episode. If you did, please share it. That's the way, that's how I know that you liked it. And I really hope it's helping you. And if it is, share it with a friend, talk about it, like this video. And if you have any questions, you can always ask. That's the fun part. I love to answer questions. So the more questions I have, the more fun I have. So on that note, I wish you the most amazing week, and we'll see you next time.